Vidya is a chartered accountant in Noida and she invests in the share market, and recently she got good news. She had invested in the shares of Infosys and now the company has announced a buyback of 9,300 crore rupees. This buyback increased the share price of Infosys and Vidya got some good returns.
See, buyback is basically when the company buybacks its own shares. Normally, whenever the company has excess funds and there is nothing worthwhile opportunities available for those funds, then they actually go in for a buyback. Typically, there are two types of buyback. One is the tender buyback, and the other one is open market purchase. Tender buyback, normally it's good for the shareholders because it's clearly confirmed as to what is the amount to be bought back at what price, and also the retail investors get a preference in this. So basically, the shareholders are sure as to how much will be bought back. But then in the open market purchase, it's always that up to. Although a minimum of 50% has to be bought back, and as per the latest SEBI regulation, it will now become 75% going ahead, and there'll be a separate window for buyback. But still, it need not be the complete 100% buyback. So the quantity can be much lesser than what they have said.
This year, that is in 2022, there has been a massive increase in buybacks. This year until now, 52 companies have announced a buyback of 38,369 crore rupees. Last year in 2021, 42 companies announced a buyback of just 14,341 crore rupees in total. But against that announcement in 2021, the total buyback was just 13,568 crore rupees. While in 2022, against the announcement of 38,369 crore, total buyback till now is just 27,293 crore rupees. This year, out of total buyback, IT companies accounted for 2/3 share.
Companies going for buyback basically to improve the residual shareholder value. Your ROE improves, the EPS improves. And in the past couple of years, we have seen most of the IT companies going for buyback instead of declaring dividend, because it is supposed to be much more tax efficient. And at the same time, for the promoters also, because buyback, normally the public shareholders participate, the percentage holding of the promoters normally moves up. Couple of reasons for this. I think one of the most important reasons is when the stock falls and the management feels that the valuations are quite cheap, then to support the stock price, they normally go in for a buyback. And recently we have seen this happening for Paytm. And at the same time, if the promoters want to increase their percentage holding, they also can announce a buyback because generally the public participates, and especially for market buyback, promoters can't even sell in the market during that time. So automatically their percentage shareholding increases. And sometimes, like I said earlier, because of the tax efficiency, promoters, instead of taking dividend, go in for a buyback, and here they need to go in for the tender buyback, where they can give the shares for buyback and get a much more tax efficient way of getting money back from the company.
Let us talk about how buyback help investors, whether they should participate in it or not. So, first of all, you need to know that there are two processes for a buyback. One is tender route and other one is through open market route.
Acceptance ratio basically means that out of total shares you own, how many would get tendered. For example, you have 200 shares of a company and an acceptance ratio of buyback is 32%, then only 64 shares will be bought back in tender. According to data in shares like TCS, GAIL, MOIL, Tanla platforms and GAIL that were bought back through the tender route gave returns in the range of 15.4% to 73.5%. While in shares like Bajaj Consumer, Imami, Bajaj Auto, Kaveri Seed, Balrampur Chini, buybacks happened through the open market and investors got returns in the range of 2.6% to 17.5%. Hence, as compared to the open market, Buyback through the tender route has given a higher return. These figures clarify one thing. After the buyback announcement, most of the shares witnessed an increase in their share price, specifically in buybacks through the tender route. Hence, whenever a company's buyback is announced, then to take benefit of the difference in prices, do invest in it.